Hi there folks, Joel Self, Outdoor Instructor here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about the Instructor mobile, but before we get into that, I'd love it if anyone new to the channel would hop down below, click both the subscribe button and the bell icon, so every time a new video comes out, you get a notification about it. Let's get straight into talking about this, shall we? So folks, here is the Instructor mobile. It's a 2.2 litre TD4 Freelander 2. It's 57 plate, so made in 2007, and I think it is a cracking vehicle. In today's video, we're going to talk you through some of the modifications that I've made to this vehicle to make it more suitable for the work I do, the adventures I go on, and the places I need to get to. So let's get straight into that. First things first, I thought it was necessary to get myself some genuine Land Rover side rails for my Freelander 2, and then on top of that I've installed some full crossbars and my own custom rack, which I use for transporting big bulky items like kayaks and canoes, but I've also used it for shifting other equipment like archery bosses, and occasionally I'll even take a kip on it when I'm off on some quiet mountain road. So I've got myself a Mantec rear ladder here. They are brilliant bits of kit. Unfortunately, really rather rare now though. In fact, I seem to have picked up the last one available in the UK. So apologies to anyone who was keen on picking one up. I think eBay is probably your best bet in terms of finding one of these. They're set up so that they can fit round the spoiler. And if you don't have a spoiler, that's no trouble. They just look as mine does here. In terms of other Mantec additions, I also opted to pick up one of the Sump guards for the front end, and this gives you some really nice beefy protection low down. It mounts up to the pre-existing holes in the body and is 6mm alloy. Underneath the rear of my Freelander 2, we've got the Dirt Monkey off-road rear diff guard. This is one of the latest additions to my Freelander 2's modifications, and I think it's a really nice beefy plate. I can't wait to give it a good test. So, running along the side of the vehicle, we've got these brilliant MuddyMods Rocksliders. These, as you can see, don't eat into your ground clearance anywhere near as much as the genuine Land Rover side steps that you'd have on here. These Rocksliders are built for the rough stuff. I gave these a real good level of abuse a couple days after they were fitted, and boy was I impressed with how they stood up to it. They are really solid and are actually mounted using a plate that runs down the whole inside of the door, as well as some brackets underneath. They keep up out of the way so you can still get over stuff, your clearance not impeded, but they are there so that when you do make contact, your door sills are not going to be taking the brunt of it. And like I say, these have taken a serious beating, to the extent where the doors probably would have been fairly knackered. So 100% worth the investment. In terms of tyres, we've got some Yokohama Geolander G003 Mud Terrains on here. These are huge at 31.5 inches. I mean, just compare them to me, for example. These tyres are fitted in 245, 75, 17 for anyone who's interested in that side of things. Brilliant tyre. I've tested these in sloppy wet mud on some rough rocks, and they serve perfectly every time. To fit these tyres took a fair bit of work, including some wheel arch modification, and they've got 30mm spacers on them as well. With a 40/50 MuddyMods lift, I also lack no ground clearance. There's so much room under here. The 40mm lift is in the front, 50mm in the rear. Combine that with the oversized tyres and we're actually looking at around 70mm in the front and 80mm in the back. Now that's what I call a front end. This is my favourite view of my Freelander 2. We've got an aggressive look to it. It looks rugged and like it belongs in the rough stuff, which in my eyes is exactly where my vehicle does belong. We've taken a couple of hints from Land Rover's accessory team, who provide a black plastic surround for this grille. Now, that being priced between £250 and £300 was not going on my shopping list. Instead, I just got this surround section wrapped, which provides the same aesthetic at a fraction of the cost. Sitting nice and proud centre stage though, we've got the Bearmach Winch. It's a £12,000 winch with a synthetic rope, and this is sat on the really well designed MuddyMods winch plate. It's a discreet winch, so the winch itself is hidden away neatly behind the grille, and that's only required very minor cutting to get that to fit, and I think it does a really neat job of hiding away in there. I think MuddyMods have really outdone themselves with this product. I love it, and the winch does work really well. I've already pulled out a few other vehicles, and as of yet, other than when I was just testing the winch out for a bit of fun, I've not had to tow the Freelander 2 out of anywhere with it. Moving further up the front end, we can see we've got a set of bush cables here, otherwise known as limb risers. These are on there to get low-lying branches and small bits of shrubbery pushed up over the top of the vehicle rather than crashing into the windscreen. So these are a lovely addition to anyone who's driving those overgrown byways. Alright then, let's talk cosmetics. So I've decided not to include any of the interior mods in this list of changes I've made, but I will mention this slightly decorative light guard. It's flimsy plastic, would probably break more easily than the light unit itself, but in my opinion these look really cool, and I've also got the rear light guards as well. It just finishes off the vehicle nicely and gives it a slightly more tough, rugged look. Let's chat about auxiliary lighting very quickly. We've got 4 additional ring headlights up on the front of the roof rack, and down on the front of the vehicle we have 2 additional amber beacons as well. So there you have it folks, that's been my Freelander 2 modification list. I will be updating this at some point because I've got a whole load of plans, but for now, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to check out any of the products that have been shown off in this video, check the description out and I'll put some links in there for you. I've been Jos Fatler, Instructor.